Hey, this is Andy Brown. Let's take a look at Cloud Init. There's a website, cloud-init.io, where you can read a bit more about it. I believe that it is managed by Canonical, who are the same folks that produce Ubuntu. Something I did not know was that originally this project was developed specifically for Ubuntu distributions on EC2, but now it's accessible by all Linux, Unix, all or most Linux or Unix distributions on every major cloud platform, which is kind of interesting. We can go here to the GitHub page and get more information about it, and then the docs are very interesting. The only thing that I really care about showing you here is showing you where the logs are stored on AWS, because I feel that sometimes you need to go in there and take a look at that kind of stuff. But if you want to read more about Cloud Init, it is very interesting. Once you are using major cloud providers, you kind of lose that knowledge unless you are intimately configuring this stuff. But what we'll do is go over to EC2, and I'm going to go over to our AWS repo as per usual. And I'm going to go ahead and launch a new instance. And in here, I know this is a future video, but what we'll do is go into this user data here and grab this YAML file, which is using Cloud Config, which is a special type of configuration. And we'll use that to launch our web server. So I'm going to say my web server, Cloud Init. We don't care if anything works. We just want to have some kind of example to launch up and get access to. So we'll choose Amazon Linux 2023. T2 Micro is totally fine. We'll say proceed without key pair. I don't care about security group rules so much, so I'll let it go to the default here. In fact, I'm just going to choose the default security group, as I feel that will make my life a lot easier. We'll go to advanced details. We'll choose our EC2 SSM role. We set this up in a different video in the VPC section, because we do launch EC2 instances there. This is very straightforward. It's just a role that has the SSM core manage policy attached, so that's something you should be able to figure out. We'll go ahead and paste this in here, and so this should install an Apache server. But I'm not really interested in that install. I'm more interested in getting access to this via Sessions Manager and taking a look at where that default log file is. So if we type in system logs for EC2, I think it tells us the path of it. And I'm not sure if it'll show up here. But I'm expecting to find that Cloud Init log. So there's a few different files, but we're going to take a look and see if there's anything interesting inside of that file, okay? And actually, this one says CFN init, so that's actually CloudFormation, but I'm interested in cloud-init. It's interesting that it says Amazon Linux 1 and 2, so maybe it's stored somewhere else, but while that is spinning up and getting into those two status checks, I'm actually going to read up on that, okay? All right, so, again, I was reading a bit more about how Amazon Linux 2023 has a customized version of Cloud Init. And so that means showing what the configuration file is. It's not indicating where the log is, which I would like to really know. So my question is that if I log into this, is it going to be where we need to see it, or am I going to have to launch an Amazon Linux 2 to see what we'd normally expect to see? And this is just the nature of cloud, where they're changing things or they're trying to modify the base level ones. I really wish AWS stuck with the open source one, but I can understand why things get changed. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if it actually is located in our var log directory. So we'll go ahead and take a look and see what's in there. Var log, and we'll do ls-la, and we still have Cloud Init. So I was thinking that it wasn't going to be there, but apparently it is. So maybe the docs are just out of date, as it was indicating that it was only for these two, but clearly is in here. Well, I guess maybe this thing's all about whether it will actually send it over to CloudWatch Log Agent. So this one's actually saying what will be streamed over to CloudWatch Logs. It doesn't necessarily mean that these files would not be on the instance. So maybe that was just my misunderstanding of that page there. But let's go ahead and take a look and just, we'll cat out the file. We'll go Cloud Init log. And there's a lot of stuff going on in here. So let's just scroll up and see if we can make sense of any of it. So what I'm mostly interested in is seeing where it might do that Apache install. So we're here at the top, and here it says restoring SC Linux, that's secured Linux. Going through here, and just carefully looking at if there's anything interesting here. Notice it's going out to the metadata service, it's grabbing a token. Okay. And just again, I'm just slowly scrolling through here and taking a look at what's going on. So here we say writing to Cloud ID AWS. I'm not sure what that is. And then notice it's talking about reading from this cloud config directory, which was being talked about over to here. So it says, uses the cloud init actions in this directory, and this one, you can create your own initial actions in this file. So it might be interesting to go open those files and take a look at what they do. And again, just scrolling through to see if there's anything interesting worth pointing out. And now I'm seeing stuff that looks kind of like Apache. So it looks like here it's running our installation script. And the reason I can tell is that we can see here it's writing index HTML. I'm just carefully looking to see where maybe the install occurs. And we're just going down a little bit more here. Notice we're seeing an update to the authorization keys for SSH. And I'm seeing yum, so I'm going to assume around here it might be doing the Apache install. But yeah, you know, the idea is that you can kind of sift through it and get an idea of what's going on. Let's go take a look at these other things here, like this one. Cloud config and D. I think they were saying that it was in this one, so I'm going to go ahead and just cat that out. And that's a directory, so let's just cd into it then. And we have a few files here. We have EC2 config. So I wonder if that's probably what it was running when it starts up. That's what Cloud Init is executing, I think. And I just wanted to cd out that content. I could probably have to put the 0 in front of it. It's my fault. And that kind of looks like the syntax for our other one there for our configuration, but we'll take a look at that one. That's for the EC2 instance. So configuration disable. The data source is the metadata URL. We'll just keep looking at, let's take a look at logging. So that's something. Yeah, I'm not saying I know what all this stuff is. I'm just thinking that it makes good sense to look at this. This is how you learn. You just kind of open stuff up and you poke around. Yeah, more metadata stuff. And that's something for secure Linux. I'm going to go back one, and I'm just curious what would happen if we took a look at the other one. I think the other one is actually a file, and the other one is a folder. So this one I think is a file. Paste that in. Maybe it's like the main startup. There we go. Some more interesting stuff in here. So we start at the top, power state. Oh, we cat it here again, sorry. So here we see user's default, disable the root as true. So we're not actually having true access to the root. Preserve the host name. So if you want to preserve it, you'd have to change that. We actually talk about that in the host name section of EC2. Here we're specifying the data source out to meta URLs. I'm not sure why it says blah.com. That's kind of interesting. So maybe that isn't going to metadata, but is that actually a domain? It's not going anywhere. So maybe that's like a default setting. The modules that run inside the init. So here we have a bunch of modules. More module stuff. Yeah, so there's something. But anyway, there will be time and place where you might have to open up this file and just know about it. So there's that. While we're here, we might as well just take a look at some of the other logs. If there's any other interesting ones we want to take a look at while we're here. So just cd into var log ls-la. I mean, there's this one here that's also related to Cloud Init. Oh, cool. So it shows you what's installed. So here, so network device information. We can see a key pair is being generated. It's showing Apache being installed. Cool. All right. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and just terminate this instance. And just remember to tear down your security groups. It's a bit hard to, well, we're using the default one, but I use this another one. But if you do end up creating security groups, you can always just clean those up and it'll save you some trouble there. But we'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.